All right, everybody. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I had a pretty good one. We took Havoc's my sister-in-law, out for some sushi yesterday. So I had a nice little sushi coma yesterday. That was fantastic. What we're going to do today, of course, is we are going to work on our latest OC art raffle winner. Hey, Neva, how's it going? It was, I hope I say their name right. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Here we go again, like with my inability to pronounce anyone's name. Let me bring up my Twitter. Oh my god, I have this somewhere. I'm so sorry, guys. Their name is Xalbcar, I think is how that's actually said there. Anyway, so they submitted this OC. Pretty cool OC. We got the actual OC up in the corner. Oh, well, you guys can't see it yet. Let me go ahead and pop on over to this tab so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, so they submitted this OC up here. I believe their name is Alicia. I only had two references of the OC to go by, and I had absolutely no lore. But they have this kind of like cyberpunky thing going on their face here, if I can zoom in correctly. So I kind of just rolled with that they're like an elf in a cyberpunk kind of city. I also just thought the lighting scheme would be cool, and I could probably add some sort of like texture to like the vest. Just gave it more like potential for you know, some sort of cool scene or whatever. Took a little bit of like artistic liberties with the OC. Like I use this more as a reference for the hair. The eyelashes are not normally blue, but I thought it would, look a little bit cooler if the eyelashes were also blue. I'm also a little biased because Havoc likes to put some blue on her eyelashes, and I think it's beautiful. So, yeah. So anyway, I went ahead and I did the background. Don't be too impressed. Most of this background is an image I found for free on Clip. I just did some manipulation to it, added some atmospheric fog and steam coming up from the city. Did some like tone adjustments and whatnot, but it helped set the mood for the image here. So the next thing I need to do here is I need to go ahead and get my actual lighting references going here. So I kind of want this to be kind of like lit from the bottom, like the bottom left. So and with like of course the colors from like the city itself. So I'm just gonna kind of grab a couple of these that have different colors and whatnot. There's my beautiful wife. So let's see. I had a few in here. I think I need to grab just a couple more just to make sure that I'm getting the lighting somewhat correct here. Doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And of course we're going to have the standard artist rim light that doesn't necessarily always make sense, but you know what? It's fucking cool, so we're just going to use it. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it, Nympha. Yeah, I was like, there's not a lot of details on this character, but that's totally okay. It took a lot less time to draw. Not every character needs to be like loaded with like details. I've been playing a shitload of Final Fantasy 13 lately, so I wasn't totally influenced at all by that art style. Working on this, I don't think it's that noticeable, but yeah, I'm pretty close to beating the game. I'm just kind of going around doing like the missions, and I don't know why. For some reason, with a Final Fantasy game, I do not feel right beating the game without getting the character's ultimate weapons. It's just the thing with me. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but Okay, here's another reference here. Sorry, I'm just looking at Pinterest real fast. Just to see if I can get a little bit more help. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I'm not like a super hardcore gamer, but like, you know, there's just certain things that like it just kind of bothers me if I don't do them, so plus like the weapons always ultimate weapons always look really cool, and it is always important in video games to look cool. So okay, I got some more references here. Let me go ahead and upload them. Do they get saved to the right folder? There's one. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Could have swore I had one more. Oh, this one. And that should probably be good. I think I can utilize all these. Okay. Now we can start rolling here. So let me pick one that's kind of close to what I'm looking for. So we got that. Kind of like this. So mostly the bottom part of the face is going to be lit up. I've got like my overall shadow on here. I'm actually going to go ahead and start layering that with my usual technique here. There we go. I like to do 2 multiply layers on 30% and then 1 linear burn layer on 30%. And because I want to have some control on the individual layers, I'm also going to do separate layers for the different pieces and whatnot. So we're going to do a multiply layer for the skin, and we're going to work on that. So what I'm going to do probably, again, to make this easy for myself, is I'm just going to fill in the whole thing, and then I will just carve away where like the light's going to be. Sometimes it's just easier to do it that way. A lot of the times it's just easier to do it that way. Let's see, so it would be like this. And then we would have some of the nose here. And of course this side is going to be a little bit more in shadow, so we're not going to carve that out. Come on, there we go. Yeah, I don't always do that. It just depends on like how much is actually in shadow for me, whether I do it that way or not. Um, I've been using it a lot more because I've been trying to do like some like I'm really trying to like focus on like my lighting right now. I need to work on my fundamentals, of course, but lighting's just fun, so alright, so we want at least a little bit of like her nose bridge to have some light here. So we're going to do this, and we're going to carve away some right here. Because we're going by our lighting reference over there. Do that. And it looks like there's some shadow on here, but I will do that with my airbrush here in a sec. some right here. And then of course we want to have like where the hair is blocking the light as well. So let's do that. Oh yeah. No, it's cool. Like it's a I like doing it now. Like it's been incredibly useful, like I said, for dramatic lighting. So we're just gonna kind of carve away some of the spots where there would be some light. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of some like soft edge, where I just like kind of like select it and erase away a little bit. So I don't have really a reference for the ears, but I know the bottom part of the ear is going to be catching the light here. You know, like a tiny bit in there. Let's see. Might catch a little bit there. And then this will probably be like a soft. Oops, not yellow. I want the eraser. So we'll do that. And then anywhere I need to like sharpen it back up, I can go back in with my mapping pen, which is what I usually use for like my hard shadows. Like, I used to use the G pen, and that did work pretty well for a while. But I really like the mapping pen for some reason. So we're gonna soften up in here. I don't want the image itself to be like super dark either. And then there's also some areas I can take my smudge tool and use that. Yeah, mapping pen is great. I love it. Like it's got just the right like shape to like the tip. I think is why I like it so much. And we're just gonna we're gonna smudge at least a couple of the spots where I think the light would kind of have like a little bit of a blur to it. Oh my god, if I could stop hitting that, that would be wonderful. Yeah, I personally think the mapping pen goes hard, but you know what? Everybody's got their preferences, so. No, stop. Let's see, so there's some other places on this reference where it's not quite as dark. So we're gonna do that. Also, I think it'll look good like that. Just gonna lighten it up a bit under there. Let me check some of my other references too. So there's a lot of like darkness in this, but I do kind of want the under the eyelids to have some light here. So we're gonna go ahead. We're also gonna do just carve this out. I always like to have like the eyelids emphasized for some reason. I don't know. I just think it looks nice. Makes it so you can like see the shape of the eyes a little bit better. Like even when it's like kind of like, you know, it's still like anime-ish, of course, with like the proportions and whatnot, but kind of like, you know, like League of Legends, like splash art kind of thing. And let's see, let's give a little bit of like, we'll do like a soft shadow area here. Even though I am going to have another layer where I do some soft shadowing. Oops. It's the wrong brush. It's this one. There we go. Do that. Kind of have it blur a little bit right here. And I'm gonna also soften the shadow here. I think it looks pretty cool so far. And some of the light will probably hit up here because the direction's kind of like going like this way. So I'm gonna start soften up there. And probably a little bit of this would catch too. Alright, that looks pretty good for the face part. So let's see, some of the, just a little bit of the neck underneath here is gonna catch. So I'm gonna kind of, no, stop. I'm gonna like do that. Definitely some on this side. But it's gonna be blocked a little bit by the collar here, so I don't want to go crazy with it. I'll make sure I save pretty often here. Oh yeah. Well, I was using the real G Pen a ton for when I was working on the webtoon at first. I forgot there was some soft shadow here. My cat's losing his mind because he's in baby jail. He's like attacking one of the other cats that lives here, so we can't have that. Okay, we got some from in this area too here. Yeah, like so the one cat's a little he's a little special. He's super sweet, but he likes to sniff butts of other kitties, and the other kitties, well, particularly my cat Vegeta, is like, "Oh, dude, get away from my butt!" Like, it's like, dude, I get it. It's a little weird, but it's his thing. So he's just trying to be your friend. All right, and we're gonna kind of carve away here and lines, I don't know how I super feel about that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll lighten this up even more. I don't want it to be like, I don't want the character to look old for no reason. Because I don't know how old their character's supposed to be. I mean, they're an elf, so they could be pretty old, but, you know, they usually don't show it, so there we go. Why? Oh, because I hadn't put it back as a freaking clip studio yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Save it. Alright, I don't really have, like, I don't really have a reference here for the muscles, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure. So the light source is going to be fairly intense down here. So we're just going to, like, carve out some of the shapes here. Just kind of like on the planes that that face where the light source is coming from. So, oh my god, dude, chill out, man. It's like you're the jerk here. Like, just stop being an asshole, and I can let you out, dude. Alright, I think I'm gonna do it like this. This way I can kind of control how much light is coming out. It's like, just let him sniff your butt, man. Like, it's okay. He's not hurting anything. Alright, so we would have some blocked by the hand here. And there's going to be some for the... Just kind of like that. And we're going to have like a rim light on this other side here, so I'm going to do at least a little bit of lightening up this like kind of area over here. It also kind of like show a little bit more of the form of the muscles too. This anatomy is not 1000% correct, but it's fine. You know, sometimes you just do things just to look cool too, so I'm just gonna do just a little bit like that. Alright, I think that's pretty good for the shadows for that part, so I'm going to reduce the opacity. Give it a little bit of a blur around the edges. Build it back up a bit. And then we can do some little bit more soft shadow just to get like the form going. And I think since I'm going to get some of these other colors here, I'm going to use something else for the other shadows here. This is kind of like a purplish color. I think that'll kind of look a little bit better here, so I can just kind of go around the form of things a bit. sure I'm not going into these too much. Where we carved out the light. Do some like soft but a little bit harder shadow here. Vegeta, why are you over there? Buddy, you're driving me nuts. Dad's trying to work. And we'll make it a little bit bigger for up here. At the top of the shoulder and the bicep area. And through here. And then we can kind of darken the tops up here where there's less light hidden. Here. All right, and let's bring down the opacity again. Like that. I think I'm gonna reduce the opacity even more. Actually, we'll do it subtle. There we go. That looks pretty good. And I needed to put some like blush on the skin because they have blood, obviously. Let's make this bigger. Oh yeah, let me sit up straight. Got some water. Symmetry was doing that for you the other day since you weren't there the other day. So they're like, oh, Nympha's not here to do this, so I'll do it. And I'm like, cool. That sounds good to me. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit around where the hard shadows are too. Oh yeah, I didn't save, did I? Let me do that. Why? Save. Save on the thing. Thank you. can actually follow the shapes here, that would be great. Not do it too hard either. This character would look really cool with like some tattoos, but I didn't want to change too much, so I don't have permission from the artist. So hopefully they're cool with the changes I did make. So. Alright, so let's see. Let's bring down the opacity. And then I like to duplicate it and do it also as hard lights. And I think I'm going to reduce the opacity even more down to like 30%. So I don't want it to get super crazy. Hell yeah. Alright, now we can start doing the lighting. And I'm going to do that as a hard light layer. And let me go ahead and color pick from the background. Here's probably the easiest way to do this. So let's grab like this pinkish color here. I think that'll work pretty well. Well, I should actually, I'm gonna do the soft part of it first. Just kind of get it in there like that. So it looks a little more glowy. Then we can go in and do the hard shadows. I mean the hard lighting. I'm still going to use, I think I'm still going to use the airbrush though, so I can control it a little bit more in certain spots. This is the right color, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know. I think it's been fun to do like the colored lighting lately. Like it looks, I think it looks really cool. Oops. It's supposed to be this color. There we go. And I think as I get closer to the face here, I'm going to have the lighting be a little sharper. Oops. Hold on. I gotta redo that because it was like down on the forearm where I don't want it. I continuously keep doing it. There we go. No, this one. Okay. There we go. And then up here it's going to be really saturated because this is the focal point of the whole image. Oops. Not up here. Go away. That. Kind of do it on the places where it's going to be really, it's going to be a lot of light hidden. That. Go ahead and smudge some of it in some spots. There. Kind of where it goes right here. A little bit on the jaw. Definitely some here, here, up here. And then take here. We'll do it as like an airbrush. Just to kind of make it a little softer there. Blend it. Oh yeah, it's going to be harsh here too. For the most part. Well, actually I could use the airbrush for this. I'm going to make it a little smaller. I think if I do that. And make sure it's the right freaking color. There we go. Look at that in there. Whoops. There. I keep wanting to select the damn blue. No, I don't need that. damn it, I did it blue again. There we go. Fixed it. Alright, I think that's all the lighting spots. I'm blurred a little bit. Just down to like 30. Glow dodge. Blur the shit out of glow dodge. Put it down to like 15. There we go. And let's see, so I want to do a rim light as well of a different color. Well, there's a couple things I actually want to do. So what I'm going to do is do a color layer here. I kind of want to put some oranges just through here. Oh, I forgot to do my overlay layer too. I just kind of want it to be a little warmer, like towards the face. That way we can kind of draw the attention more that way. Let's do. Come on, do some like lighter pink through here. Just to give it a little bit of a different hue to it. And let's see. So let's do overlay. And we'll do a little bit of like some orange glow around some of the parts, I think. I'm trying to use like a kind of like complementary colors, so like there's a lot of blues and purples on the character, so I'm trying to use like some like oranges and like yellows here and there. I'll probably actually make this a little bigger. Sometimes when you also, if you put too much like blue, like on a character, even in like a night scene, it makes them like look a little dead. You don't want that. We also want like the face itself to be more saturated. So by adding like different like warmer colors into it, that helps. Yeah, especially since this character like doesn't have a lot of details, we want to like really make sure that the lighting's really nice and we can add like some color variety to it. That's that, and let's do our nonsensical rim light. Oops, let me do that. We'll do it down here. Do it on the ears over here. We're going to do it mostly on this side, I think. Could be extra and put a different type of rim light on the other side, but I think that's a little too much. And I think I need to blend it out a little bit in some spots. Well, there's definitely going to be like a shadow from the hair, so let's get that right there, and this would actually be mostly shadow here because it wouldn't really catch. Even though it's a nonsensical rim light, we still want to like kind of have it follow some of the rules. Blur it out a little bit there, a little bit there. Definitely more towards the ear here. It needs to fade a little bit. All the way up here at the top too. Let's make our blur brush a little bit bigger. We can kind of sneak it down that and up this way. That. Sneak that up a little that way. That way. There we go. And let's turn that down a little bit. Glow dodge. I'm gonna blur the shit out of this glow dodge. There we go. That looks cool. I wonder if these would actually look good if I used yellow. Let's find out. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Really do that. And let me save. And let's find some gradient maps. So I want the skin first. So let's see if I can find my skin maps. There we go. And the original OC kind of has skin that's a little bit more like yellowy, I think. So let's put that on there. Soft light like that. And then I kind of want a gradient map too for like the lighting. So this one's kind of got like a bunch of different colors in it. Let's see if we can make this look good. What's pin light look like? Pin light's kind of cool, but let's do, what about overlay? Overlay is insane. Soft light. I don't know if I like this one. What about push pop? Some of these transitions are a little harsh, so maybe I won't use these. What about in here? Probably have to turn down the opacity on these anyway. Kind of trying to find one that has a lot of the same like environmental colors. I don't know if a lot of people like use it this way. Like normally you're supposed to use like gradient maps on like black and white just to add color to them. But I like to actually like enhance my colors with it. I think I kind of like that. And we'll turn down the opacity on it to like 30%, so it's not like super intense. Now we can do a tone curve. I think I'm going to lighten this up a bit. I do want it to be darker than the background. Alright, we can still tell what's going on with that, so that's good. And I think I'm going to do a color balance. So maybe we can get some different colors in here. So let's get some more blue back into the shadow here. Put a little bit of magenta in there. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and merge that. Then we'll do our usual effects here. Some chromatic aberration, lighten, and blur it. Bring that down to like 20%, maybe even more than that. Let's do it like 15. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Hell yeah, skin's done. Alright, so the next biggest piece is definitely the vest, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm kind of thinking I want to put like a pattern on it of some sort to kind of continue that cyberpunky looking feel to it. Also, like large areas of the character. Oh, ads. Sorry. Hold on. Alright, we back. Hell yeah. So what I was saying before the ads, because the ads are rude, uh, is like large areas on the clothing, the outfit, or whatever, are a great place to put a pattern of some kind to break up the character image. So we're gonna give this a little bit of some like the cyberpunky, like kind of a little bit of this hexagonal honeycomb pattern jam. So I'm gonna do hard lights. We're just gonna do it kind of subtle. It's hard to see, but like once I add all like the shading and stuff to it, you'll be able to notice a little bit more. This is something that I learned from Rhino Tuna. Rhino Tuna takes like inanimate objects and turns them into characters and stuff. By the way, I am drinking water and sitting up, so let me go ahead and save too real quick. Boom. Rhino Tuna is super cool. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm also going to do the same thing that I did for the rest of the outfit, where I just kind of filled like the whole thing with the shadow, and then I'm going to carve away like where the light is hitting. Alright, the light's going to be definitely intense down here. I'll have to find a link to some of Rhino Tuna's stuff, so you guys that don't know what I'm talking about can check him out. Do that so we can erase away. Down there. Oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Good, good, good. Alright, let's get... Yeah, it's such a cool thing to, an idea just to take like inanimate objects and turn them into like OCs. Alright, let's put some shadowing back in from the hair. Let's see. There'll be some light here, because there's going to be some blocked by the arm / the boobas. Also, the reference for this character looked like they were pretty damn muscular, so figured it'd be cool to do like a muscle mommy elf. Muscle mommy cyber elf. Sounds like a winning combination for the internet, right? know when Pensy sees this, they'll be like, "Oh my god!" Pensy's so funny. Alright, let's see. So, I'm going to use my airbrush to kind of do this so we can get some of the softer over here. And maybe I can get away with a little bit of super soft, like through here. But just kind of like that. Yeah, I think that's good. Do that just a little bit. Get down to 20%. Linear burn. I'm gonna grab like the same-ish color that I did before, and we'll kind of just darken a little bit in the form. And I'll get a smaller one. Oops, I forgot to do the hair shadows. That's okay, I can fix that. Let's do that real quick. Take those away. Need some kind of across there. Like that. And then that. And I think that's probably good. Yeah. Turn that down to 30%. Probably actually turn that down more. Let's do 15. Yeah, that's good. All right, now we can do our light again. And I think I color picked some pink for the background, so let me do that again. think I did that. Let's do our soft first. Then we can go through and do like our harder. There. Alright, I think I'm going to use my airbrush here. There we go. And then I'm going to do some super subtle ones over here. Just like that. Blur that a little bit. You know, like 30. Oops. Down a little bit. All right, so let's do some of the skin color and whatnot. Around in here. Whoops. If I actually did it on the right layer, that would be awesome. Around there. Go under there. Through that. I'm gonna put some oranges up here. I wanted to want this area to be more like saturated around the face. Actually, I'm gonna turn down to like 30. You know what? I can collapse that because that's in my way. And let's see. Let me do my overlay. Also with orange here. Just kind of go around where the light and the shadow are separated. Do a little bit down here. Okay. Cool. Alright, now we can go some gradient map. I use this gradient map all the time for like things that are like clothing or black leather or anything like that. Looks really neat on it. It's a gradient map called Hot Pants, so I also appreciate the name. The name is really silly, so I like it. Alright, I gotta find the other one that I did. I think I did. Wasn't one of these, was it? I don't remember now. Because I found one that had a lot of the environmental colors. I think it was in here. I think it was one of these. I really should have like paid attention to that. That one's kind of cool. Do that, and then we'll do a soft light. Ooh, I think that looks nice. Hell yeah. Make sure we can still see our little pattern we got going on here. Might need to bring it up a little bit. Let's do... There we go. Now we can see it a little bit better. Why did I do that? That's not what I want. Go back. Fine. I'll just delete the layer. Jeez. It's going to be defiant like that. God damn. Alright. Do our tone curve here. Lighten it up just a bit so we can kind of see what's going on with it. And then we'll do some color bounce. think it needs some more reds in here. One more correction layer here. Bring down the saturation a bit. Kind of this way more. Bring some of those colors back in. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty awesome. I like that. And I think what I'm also going to do, I'm going to do a purlin noise as well. So we have like a slightly different texture than the rest of the outfit. I'm turning it way down to like 10%. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Hell yeah. I like that. We're making really good progress on this. This is awesome. Alright, that is done. Hell yeah. That looks awesome. So I think the hair is the next biggest thing, so let's work on that. Work on the brown parts of the hair first. Alright, let's get the base color and then we'll hue shift it. So we're going to make it slightly cooler, and we're going to make it a little bit darker. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. Just kind of cut it out. I think in here, use the airbrush. Oops, not that big. Yes, let me go ahead and save. Get some water. Get some coffee too. Hell yeah. I don't know. I think this is looking pretty sick so far. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm always really happy when people submit OCs that are pretty awesome like this. A lot of fun. Let's give it some of these detail lines back in here. Thanks. I do my best, you know? Like, I try to do people's characters like justice. Well, wait a minute. Actually, let's start to use the airbrush here, because I think when we get more in this area here, some of the shadow's going to start coming back in, so... especially like up here. We're going to just use the airbrush to carve away up here a little bit. I definitely really like doing these. These are a hell of a lot of fun, so. Wait, I didn't do the rim light on this, did I? On the vest. I'll have to go back and do that real quick before I forget. Make this a little bit bigger, and then have it kind of just a little bit like that. And maybe some on the underside of these little flippies. Oops, there's a little. There we go. It's better on that one, and make sure those show up, and we can do that as well to kind of bring in that shadow back in. And we need the shadow down here from this one. Oops. Are you working? Okay. All right, cool. And I'll kind of just do this over here a little bit. Alright, let me go back to the vest before I forget. Is it this? No, it's the gloves. There we go. Can't believe I forgot to do that. So let's put it back in a folder. And I think I used like a yellow. It's like I knew I was kind of like missing something. There. And had it kind of hidden on this side. Actually, let's just do that. And then blend it into it. That. Oops. Hard light. There we go. And then down like 30. Duplicate. Glow dodge. 50. 15. Add glow by 5. There we go. I was like, I knew I was missing something, a step on that. Save. There we go. Now back to the hair. This down, what, 20? Linear burn. Now we'll do this color, and we'll kind of bring it that way. It's actually pretty similar to the color I was already using. You know what? We'll go ahead and stick with that. Be fine. All right, now I can just kind of go around the form here. Actually, keep bringing that down, and I keep forgetting it. And let's do a bit of a light pink overlay here, I think, and some to try to make it a little bit interesting in the transitions. Sometimes some of these colors that I'm picking are just kind of like, maybe this will work, so, you know, it's not like gospel to necessarily pick like the exact same colors or anything. I'm just really just playing around, see how it works. And if I get it right on the first try, then hell yeah. If I don't, I can just change it. A lot of times they're just like little, really, really subtle things that, you know, you wouldn't even really notice. But I know they're there. Alright, now we can do the light, hard light, color pick from the background again. Trying to keep everything harmonious as much as we can. I want it to be fairly saturated around the face here because that's our point of interest. Face here.
Can't touch anything when it's got a video playing where it does that.
Yeah.
I really hate that about the new phones. Oh, Vegeta, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, precious.
He's like, what the hell, man?
I'm sorry, buddy. Welcome, Belinda. My headache's gone. I'm already picking fights. Because I'm not going to open that door with that stuff.
Kind of get like the anime like highlight here going on. Alright, I think I'm going to use my airbrush so I can kind of control the level here. Like up here is not going to be quite as intense. Then I need to do a little bit kind of through these. So we can get like this shape going on up here. Same up here. I really want another season of this. I really liked No Game, No Life. Like, some of the brother sister stuff was definitely weird, but overall the anime was pretty good. Let's do some orange here around highlights. Just begun. Yeah, we're definitely trucking through a lot of this, so this is cool. Might be able to finish it up tomorrow. So I'm going to take some of this blue here. Put it kind of like close to where it overlaps with the brown. And definitely some through here. I need some of the skin tone. I know a lot of people use like a normal layer for this, but I like to do like I do like a color layer and a hue layer to add these kind of in here. Actually, you know what? It might look good if I did it as a lighten layer. There we go. That looks good. A lighten and a color. Alright. And I don't know why I like making the hair like way shinier than it should be, so I'm going to use my hot pants one again. Do it as a soft light this time. And let's get our other gradient map that we used for the lighting, which I'm pretty sure was down here. It's got a lot of blue in that. Let's use this one. I think that's the one I actually should have used last time. Alright, and now we can take our tone curve. Zoom way the hell out. Lighten this up like a whole bunch. So we can still see the details from a distance. That looks pretty good. Get up close to it to make sure it doesn't look shitty that way. And it doesn't. So that's awesome. Let's do some color balance. Let's see, I want it warmer towards the face, so I'm going to turn some of these up. I think that looks pretty good. And I think the last thing I will do for this stream is I think I'll do the blue parts of the hair, and then we can wrap it up tomorrow. So I do have some things I need to do today. But I think we got really far, which is awesome. Of course, it helps when I do like the flats in the background ahead of time, so. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you like it so far. Hopefully, Xalbcar likes it, or Xalbcar likes it. Since it's their OC. Oh, I forgot to do the rim light on it. let me do that before I forget. It's cool though. I looked at their Twitter and I saw some other people had done some fan art of this OC, so they've got some sort of base going on there, which is cool. And then hopefully I'll get to interact with them sometime soon so I can get to know them. And then I can find out some more about this OC because I know nothing about it. I'm just kind of like freeballing it here. There we go. Hell yeah. That's that. So let's do the blue parts now.
No.
I know the kids outside screaming their fucking head off.
I mean, do it outside, but just do it somewhere else outside.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to hue shift a little bit. We're going to darken so we can get our shadows. I'm going to go ahead and just keep using. So it's not going to quite get as much of the, like the lighting is a little different for like how the hair works. I gotta remember that I have the eyelashes on the same layer. See, these are turned so they're more facing the light source here, so we can do that. I do still like to do like some of like the little anime highlight just to show like the form. Probably do another one right here. Alright, we're going to use this to control it. And we'll do some up there. This will be pretty bright down here. Right through there. Now I can do the eyelashes. Which I just kind of do as like kind of like a stylized thing. Just because I think it looks neat. I think some of the inner lash would probably catch it a little bit here. At least the way that I do them. And then, whoops. Kind of on that side, and there. There. And I'm gonna blend a little bit of this. we go. I think that looks good. Blur the edges just slightly. Use this for the soft shadow. It didn't seem like that did. Oh, because I had the wrong brush. I was like, why? I was like, why is that not like showing up? It's like, I know I did something. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Oops. These turn them down to like 15. That's. I'm going to do that pink overlay real quick. The light pink, so we'll do that. Also, I hope you guys are, learning some stuff from watching me here. Like, you're more than welcome to use any of the techniques that I'm showing here. I'm not, like, gonna get mad if I see someone else, use them because I want to see all of us improve here. So, do not be scared. I mean, that's how I learn. So I just watch other artists and, pick stuff that I like from what they're doing, and then I just try to apply it to my own. So, not a damn thing wrong with that. I'm gonna do some like orange through here. It's because I want more attention at the face. So we're gonna put some warm color. And let's do a lighten layer with, take some of the skin tone. Kind of just work it. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer again. Kind of around here. Reflect a little bit there. Through here. Down this way. And then before I forget, I'm going to put that damn rim light on there. Well, let's go ahead and put this one on while I'm on it. So I'll do that. Soft light. Now we'll do the other one that makes it shiny. Zoom out. Make it lighter. You know what? I think I should turn down the opacity on this one. Let's do it like 30%. And then let's see. Let's bring some of the blue back into it. go. I think also I should bring down this one too. Oh yeah, it looks way better. Maybe bring it down even a little bit more, to like 30%. And then we can kind of adjust our tone curve again. Line it up just a bit. Like that. That's better. Hell yeah. Alright, that looks good. Merge all that together. Chromatic aberration. And we'll do lighten. Some blur. Hell yeah, that's looking good. Alright, I think that's a pretty good stopping point for today. So let me go ahead and let's get all this stuff out of the way. And I'll get my big fat VTuber head out of the way. And we'll do fit the screen. Alright, hell yeah, this is the progress we made for today. I really like how it's turning out. I think it's really cool. Hopefully, the owner also enjoys this as well. Hopefully I'm not taking their OC and just completely butchering it and just throwing it in entirely the wrong universe, you know, that kind of thing. So, alright, let me throw you guys in the lobby so we can go ahead and wrap up here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me on stream today. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. If you're not already following me, go ahead and give me a follow to see when I go live. If you like the kind of work and the content that I'm doing, consider subscribing. That would help me out a ton. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you're also awesome. I appreciate you just as much. I will be back tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, to go ahead and finish this up. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye-bye.